Bishop Lamor Whitehead is becoming more of a news headline than a pastor. From him initially going viral for getting robbed on his church's live stream for wearing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry, to him getting in a scuffle with a lady in his church in the middle of a sermon. And all along I said there was something fishy here. And alas, I was right. He was arrested today on charges of fraud and extortion, adding another feather in his cap of controversy. So in this video, we'll be looking at the charges presented, what led up to this, his affiliation with the mayor of New York, and more.
Ruslan.
This is stuff straight out of a movie. The charges brought against him, all the details, we're going to be looking at it here. And it's actually kind of sad when you really peel away the layers and think about it. So let's jump into a couple news articles. We have CNN pulled up. Everyone's reporting this. This is a W picture, by the way. Shout out to whoever was able to snag that. All right. So federal authorities on Monday arrested Brooklyn pastor Bishop Lamor Whitehead, charging him with allegedly fleecing a 56-year-old parishioners of her entire life's savings, extorting a businessman and lying to federal agents. Okay, these are some serious charges. Okay, and the story is even more sad when you really get into it. Okay, the parishioner identified as an indictment as victim one appears to be Pauline Anderson, who has a lawsuit pending against Whitehead alleging he bilked her out of $90,000 in retirement savings in exchange for promising her to help purchase a home that never materialized. Now, I've looked into some of this with folks who live in New York, and what I found out is the church he was pastoring had the word international on it. And a lot of times in this part of the country, specifically in Brooklyn, New York, international will often attract women and men that come from the Caribbean, come from the islands, Jamaica, places like that. And so what they may not be as savvy about this sort of things. And so it's almost like a very predatory approach in the way he branded this church to have access to people who he could take advantage of, allegedly. Okay, so it's actually a really sad situation. And this story had been murmuring way before even the initial robbery that happened where it was live streamed, okay? So the allegations against Whitehead from Anderson were first reported by the city in July. So again, this has been going on for a while. This was just days after Whitehead made a national headlines for being robbed at gunpoint on the pulpit alongside his wife, while Whitehead was delivering a Sunday sermon that was being live streamed. Two of the three alleged robbers were arrested and charged in September. And now I think most of us were looking at that situation going, why are you wearing $500,000 to $1 million worth of jewelry while you're preaching? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Something seems fishy. People at the rip were saying, yeah, this doesn't add up. Now, this is a completely unrelated case. Those folks have apparently been brought to justice. And so whether or not there was some sort of internal conspiracy or not, I think is irrelevant. The fact remains that this man was out here kind of flaunting this elaborate lifestyle while being a pastor and being in a community that can get you robbed like that. And that's exactly what happened. So I think this entire situation is really sad, but I want to highlight some other things that are fairly alarming about this story. But before we do that, if you're considering jumping into the YouTube space, be sure to check out our free 2-day challenge. And I want to give you guys a little preview right now. Hey, if you want to successfully start your YouTube channel, I'm running a free 2-day challenge for you. During these 2 days, I'll be pulling back the curtain on some of the particulars of what it took to grow my main channel to over 240,000 subscribers and laying out a blueprint of how you can do something similar. And to prove that this isn't some dated strategy that I only used on my main channel, I'll also explain how I did it for my second channel in the last few months, growing it to over 50,000 subscribers and having it generate about $5,000 a month on average. Some of you guys know me, know I'm into fitness, and I've seen the same people show up to the gym for 2-3 years and get no results. And you could do the same thing with YouTube. You keep spinning your wheels, you can keep trying different things, or you can find a tried and true system that works and has repeatedly been shown to produce results. I know there's a whole lot going on around the holidays, you're busy, but if you want to approach your YouTube channel with a strategy and a system that's proven, sign up for this free 2-day challenge below. You can sign up by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment below.
Ruslan.
And that challenge is starting tomorrow. By the way, the link is pinned up in the comments description. We start tomorrow at around 5:15 Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to sign up for that, link's pinned up, okay? This is by far the most interesting part of this entire saga. Okay, so it says Whitehead, who is a pastor of the Storefront Leaders of Tomorrow International Churches, ran unsuccessfully for Brooklyn Borough president last year. Previously, he served 5 years in New York State prison after being convicted of grand larceny and 15 instances of identity theft in 2008. So this man's been in the mix and doing some things he shouldn't be doing. But check this out. The pastor has described himself as a close associate of Mayor Eric Adams. Adams, for his part, in 2016, introduced Whitehead at a concert in Brooklyn as my good friend and good brother. Yikes. But has more recently characterized the relationship as one of mentorship. Okay, so this man's connected to the mayor. This reminds me, you might find this reference offensive, but this reminds me in the later seasons of the TV show Power, where there was a pastor who was meddling in politics and all kinds of wild stuff was going on. This is very similar narrative. I guess this is life imitating art, art imitating life. I don't know, okay? I've spent decades enforcing the law and expect everyone to follow it. Okay, this is what Eric Adams has said. I've also dedicated my life to assisting individuals with troubled past. The city in the email said, so while these allegations are troubling, I will withhold further comment until the process reaches its final conclusion. Federal prosecutors are also charging the bishop for alleged false statements. During the execution of a search warrant, Whitehead told FBI agents that he only owned the cell phone that he had on him at the time, but in reality, he had a second phone. He got two phones that he had on him at the time, but in reality, a second phone, which he used before and after the search warrant execution. The indictment claims a text message on the second phone referred to it as my other phone, the indictment said. Okay. Whitehead shot to national prominence in July. This is when he was robbed of the jewelry. So this entire story is really sad because these are actual people's lives being affected here. Okay. There's actual people who lost their life savings dealing with the shenanigans of this pastor. And so I find the whole thing very troubling, but I also think that there's an element where people will look over situations like this until it gets so big and goes so viral that all of a sudden people will start inquiring, because the truth is this stuff happened years ago with this lady that was bringing forth these allegations and no one did anything about it, which is really sad. And so I would hope that we, as followers of Jesus, as Christians, would be firm on what the requirements of a elder pastor are per 1 Timothy, per Titus, per all the passages that outline that not many should presume to be teachers because they'll be judged more harshly, right? And so here you just have a very sad story of a gentleman that seemingly, allegedly, utilized his power and his influence to take advantage of people. I find the whole thing very sad and very troubling. And so prayers up to this lady. I hope that the justice is served in this situation. And I hope that these politicians would be more careful with who they're allowing, to be in their circle, specifically with the mayor and all that kind of stuff. But guys, before we get out of here, I want to make sure that you guys know something special just came out Friday. Here's a little preview. Hey, you may not know I make music, but I have a brand new song that just came out. Here's a quick preview.
I went from being a porn addict to sharing the gospel with a porn actress who was criticized for being low status by the same OnlyFans who treat us so lavish. I'm confused.
I swear y'all thought he did doing podcasts, hot takes. He still can rap.
Now, this is my first song that I've released in over a year, so I need you to go to Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you consume music and stream Too Soon right now. Add it to your favorite playlist, share it with a friend. So hit the link in the description or go to RuslanToTheMoon.com to stream Too Soon now. I'll see you over there.
Ooh, ooh. Oh, they got me with the dramatics. You knew that a moment cannot be static too soon.
Ruslan.
Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out our original video on Bishop Lamor Whitehead and a video that YouTube thinks you will like. Tell me if this is real. Will you like this video? I want to hear from you guys. Big shout out to our entire Patreon community for funding what we're doing and making sure that we make videos like this, podcast conversations, all that kind of good stuff. You can check that out over here. I will see you over there. All right? Peace.